Gili Trawangan, when I arrived in 2004, was really quiet. There was not that many hotels. I remember, I think there were like about 5 or 7 swimming pools in 2004, and now we have maybe 700 swimming pools. So a big development. So it was still full of nature, more flies than tourists. I am Delphine, originally from France, and I've been on the island of Gili Trawangan for 20 years, and I'm helping the Gili Eco Trust for about 20 years as well. And the Gili Eco Trust is a local grassroots NGO trying to make Gili Trawangan environment sustainable with the touristic businesses and to educate as much as possible to get as many people feeling responsible of their environment and the impact they have on. So about 20 years ago, the island or the three Gilis coral reef were quite damaged from mass coral bleaching that happened in 97, 98, and then destructive fishing methods such as dynamite in 99, 2000. So, but if it's destroyed with mass coral bleaching or storms or destructive fishing method, it doesn't come back like this. It's not magical. So when I arrived 20 years ago, the reefs were okay, but there was a lot of rubbles. So a lot of rubble means like very unstable seabed, and the baby corals could not really grow. They can start growing on it, but once they get resistance against the water, they roll down the slope. So they're not growing. They're not making the reef resilient. Um, People were still dropping anchors a lot, even dive shops, just because there was no mooring buoys in place, or only a few. So when they were coming to park, they will drop an anchor on the shallow reef, and they will have a mooring buoy for night parking. And then for waste, there was not an issue at that time because there was only a few people, and the rubbish dump was not a hill; it was still a hole, and there was only a little bit of rubbish because only a few hotels and few tourists and few people living on the island. So it was not a problem. So yeah, that's why we started to work with the reef, try to restore the coral reef to make sure local communities and also diving businesses will have a future in the Gili Islands. I arrived in May 2004, and then I started to dive and earn money, salary from teaching diving. So I wanted to give back, and we heard about the BioRock technology with some friends, and so we contacted uh, the people in Bali who were already doing it, and then we set up the first BioRock reef in November 2004, and then another one in June 2005, and after that, the two scientists who invented the BioRock technology contacted me to organize an international workshop to get more participants, and instead of still doing it in Pemutaran in northwest Bali, they decided to do it in a new place because there was a French TV coming to film as well to see the old place and the new place. So we organized the first BioRock Reef Restoration International Workshop in November 2006, and then it went on. So November 2006, we built, I think, 10 BioRocks and installed the cables and everything for different sponsors. So then we were only at like 12 biorocks around, and now in 20 years now we've just reached 180. So we've got many. So yeah, we never stopped because the technology shows great success. The Gili Eco Trust is mainly working into ocean protection, so coral conservation, coral restoration, ocean cleanup, mooring buoys, placing mooring buoys and maintaining them to avoid anchoring, coral bleaching monitoring, anything coral reef or ocean related. But then in 2007 we started to do land projects, because the land activities are actually having a huge impact on the coral reefs and the ocean, mostly as the tourism grow. So we started to work with cats and horses. So cats is to limit the population, and the horses we're doing clinics where we educate people how to look after their horse, and we give deworming, vitamins, and things like this, and equipment, proper equipment, and then we get farrier training clinic as well, so where people can learn how to trim their feet, the horse feet, and to put shoes on. And then 2007, through the horse clinic, we also started to help with waste management, and we're still helping. So setting up a proper waste management system for the island, but we kind of always behind the development and how much rubbish is coming. So hopefully at some point we can reach a balance with a new system, and then you always think one solution for waste management is the best, but it's actually a combination of solutions to make it a circular economy and sustainable. It's not just one machine who's gonna sort the issue out. So the main thing is education and a proper system. The recycling tool is to get people aware of the issues of the waste management in Indonesia, but also to show them everything that we've been doing in the history of Gili Trawangan tourism development, and how we're trying to deal with the waste, recycling, upcycling, and trying to limit the amount of waste staying on the island, um, except for the organic, and then and how all the struggles and the frustration that we've had, all the mistakes we've done, and or experience or project we did, and from what we learn, and now I hope we reach kind of a final project with the sorting center, um, getting ready for a proper integrated waste management system, which will allow only the organic to stay on the island. Recyclable will be sent to be sold, and the residual trash will be sent to Lombok, to the government, or to a pyrolysis machine, or wherever they can deal with it, but not staying on the island. But we can't send all the rubbish that we receive every day, because that would be a shame for the island to not have the rich organic waste that we have here to do compost, and to get all the waste collector with extra money that they can get through the recyclable. And we've got all the machineries to select, segregate, and compact or press. So we're not transporting air. So we're quite advanced compared to anywhere else in Indonesia, but we still struggle. So that's why I explained during the recycling tour. And then people get a big slap because we bring them on the rubbish dump, so they can see the amount of rubbish of like about 25 years of tourism. And the cows eating plastic and organic waste, and they get a shock, and then they realize, and then it's all about promoting or trying to get donations, or so we can make the system happen faster. So yeah. The glass upcycling project started in 2011 with a glass art workshop in which we're making glassware, so like drinking glass, ashtrays, lampshade, and things like this for businesses or tourists to buy. Then the other part of the glass upcycling project is making bricks or building materials out of the sand that we get from crushing the bottles. And we started that in 2011 as well, but with a very small machine, and then get sponsored with bigger one by Diageo recently with Soria Atus. So more and more donation for that project. And glass is the easiest to separate, I think, in your waste, but it's still not done as a routine on the island. And the glass left on the dump is creating very dangerous and risky fire. And that's why we've always tried to get the glass off the dump. Also, when the dump gets on fire, the glass doesn't burn, basically. So if you leave all the time the glass on the dump, it just piles up and gets higher, even bigger. So you see the size of it now, and we've been taking most of the glass since 2011, and it's still growing. So if we were not doing that, I don't know how big it would have been. It's a, I think, very important project, and trying to promote more businesses on the island to get stuff from us, bricks that we make from glass. So yeah. In the Gili Eco Trust Eco Shop and office, we are selling anything for an eco warrior to travel in Indonesia or to live in Indonesia as well. So refillable water bottle, any straws and straw cleaners. So you don't have to use plastic straws. We have many reusable bags and different models. We have natural soap, natural deodorant, natural shampoo bar, loofah, which is a natural scrub to either wash your dishes, things like this, and then some zinc or natural sun cream so you don't damage the reef when you're going into the ocean. And then how to be an eco warrior, we've got the little net bag with what you can collect rubbish on the beach or in the sea. And then we'll have more of our glassware upcycled bottles that we will sell to people once the workshop starts again. So, yeah.
So if you are using them, don't panic, just try and rip them in half. Straws are not on this sheet, but obviously you know what a straw is. Even the straws that call themselves compostable, if they're plastic, then they're just not compostable. You can recycle pretty much any plastic container. So I found one ready. Even if you found a
Et là, moi je me suis occupé du verre. Du coup, on a toutes sortes de bouteilles, des grandes, des bouteilles pharmaceutiques. On a aussi beaucoup d'ampoules. C'est important parce qu'après, les bouteilles de verre sur l'île, on a une machine qui peut faire en sorte en fait de concasser le verre, puis après on fait des briques avec ça. Donc ça permet de faire des maisons à bas coût et puis en triant les déchets, donc c'est super.
I want to do it because I think it's really important to keep the place clean, to look after the environment, not just because of what it looks like, but what it's like for the nature that's here.
My dream plan is to sort the waste out and to make the island an eco example where everyone will be involved. If the businesses were all involved, then they will have a different direction, of how the future should be. And if everyone was feeling responsible of the waste, it will be great. And then for the reefs, it's about the same. If people were following eco rules for their businesses, such as for sewage, grey water, any groundwater waste, things like this, then the reef will be in a much better state, because there's too much shit from the land activities going into the sea, and that makes algae and sponges overgrowing the coral. So you're trying to restore the coral, but on top of that, the pollution coming from land is overgrowing the coral. So it's like a constant maintenance and fight. And so yeah, so we're trying now to get the government to understand that it's not limiting the number of people entering the water per day that is the issue, but it's actually making the businesses with eco rules or sustainable rules for an island like this if you want to keep the reef for the future. Because in many places, it's not the divers and the snorkelers who have the highest impact on the coral reef, environmental impact, but the land activities and what goes into the ocean. So that's our fight now. So my dream is to make the island eco example for the rest of Indonesia, and then maybe for the rest of the world. I don't know if I will reach my goal in my lifetime, but hopefully yes. My message to anyone who wants to live in a planet with respect and living in harmony with all creature is to learn as much as you can and to do your bits. So do your bits, do your eco bits as much as you can in your environment. And what can you do to help the planet? It's watch as many documentaries as possible, learn from any people, help, and then as soon as you learn something, then educate others to spread the message. So be an eco example and do your bits and learn about solution that you can apply rather than hoping someone else is going to do it. The only hope that can come is when everyone feels responsible of the future of the planet rather than thinking someone else is going to do it for them. So do your bit and be an eco example.